I am your host, El Matador, El Pibe de Oro, Cosa Nosa, Motuna Timbe, Lope de J, Raymond Mutuku, and I'm very happy this morning to welcome you to the world of our own. And I'm very happy to welcome you. Now, if you're new to this channel, subscribe and comment. Let us continue with our reading, and I'm blessed this wonderful morning to be here. And, let us continue reading. And if you're new to this channel, subscribe and comment. I'm blessed this morning to be here, and I love reading. Do you enjoy reading with me? I love reading, and I want us to read. And if you're new to this channel, subscribe. Did you subscribe? I want you to subscribe, and I want us to really invest in reading the Word of God. I want us to invest, because right now we are still investing. I want us to invest, in the Word. Any questions up to there? This is our third hour, and I want us every day I want us to insist on reading. I want us to be full of the Word. I want us to be loaded with the Word. That is something that I want us to be loaded with the Word. Let us continue. Also, the men of Memphis and Tapanes have cracked your skull. Have you not brought this on yourselves? For forsaking the Lord your God when he led you in the way. Now why go to Egypt to drink water from the Nile? And why go to Assyria to drink water from the Euphrates? Remember, at that time, Assyria was also a kingdom on its own. And the capital of Assyria was called Nineveh. And Nineveh was a city found on is it the Tigris? I think it was the Tigris. If you read the history of Sennacherib, when Sennacherib came from Nineveh, the Assyrians were also. You see, let me tell you something. When you're reading the Word of God, mostly when you're reading, you need to be cognizant of the fact of the kingdoms that were available at that time. You see, Samaria was the capital city of, when the 10 tribes broke off, they went to that place called Samaria. All right, and where look at the roots of the name Samaria. You see, the father of Ahab was called Omri, and he bought a hill place, and it was called Samaria. All right, and you see, the name Samaria is derived from the name Omri. Omri was the father of Ahab. All right, and that name Samaria became the capital city of Ahab. All right, so that was the capital city of those tribes that broke away with the Jeroboam. Also, there was Jerusalem, and now here the Assyrians were also developing. You need to understand that when civilization was happening, there were kingdoms that were also developing. For example, the Samaria was also developing. That is why there was, you see, when you see war was a consequence of developing. That's why it was called an arms race. You see, the thing is, even if when you read the history of World War, or when you read the history of World War I, or the history of the Second World War, it was because some places like the Germans, like the Nazis, they felt that they could conquer everybody. You see, so anytime there is development, or every time there's an arm race. You see, one kingdom would want to take over the other one, and that is exactly what happened at that time. So here we are reading about this man called, you know, Nebuchadnezzar. And Nebuchadnezzar, you see, when he was told, "What do you see?" He said, "I see a boiling pot tilting from the north." A boiling pot tilting from the north. That was prophecy of the coming of Nebuchadnezzar. But let's continue reading. But you see, the funny thing about the story of Nebuchadnezzar was it was just besiege. You know the meaning of besieging? I don't think there was a lot of warfare. It was simply he besieged. I don't know whether we know the meaning of that word. It was surrounded. He surrounded Jerusalem. All right. And he was the outsider who surrounded Jerusalem at that time. So you find he never attacked. You see, one thing that Nebuchadnezzar never did, Nebuchadnezzar never attacked Jerusalem. He simply waited, he simply choked the supply chains of Jerusalem. He simply choked the food, he simply choked the supplies, he simply choked trade, he just choked, you know, how those people could advance. That is how he choked them, and he set his camp outside. And that is exactly and this is very sweet. I love this sweet spot. And that is exactly what Sennacherib wanted when he attacked Hezekiah. He came up with an army of 185,000. All right, and they camped outside Jerusalem. So this man Hezekiah, they came and said that if Sennacherib finds water that is at the Gihon, he would stay there for a long time. So they decided to siphon the water from the Gihon. The Gihon is just outside Jerusalem in the valley of Kedar. It's called the Kidron Valley. When you go, and I was saying when we go to Jerusalem, of course, when I'll go to Jerusalem with my wife, when we will go there, I will take her to Jerusalem with my wife soon. So in Jerusalem, we will go and see the Kidron Valley and the Gihon and the pool of Siloam. So, ladies and gentlemen, in the Gihon Valley, what Hezekiah never wanted was he never wanted Sennacherib to find water in the Gihon Valley, because it would mean that they would stay at the Gihon Valley for a long time and they would besiege Jerusalem. So this guy was very lucky. Hezekiah was very lucky because an angel of the Lord came and killed all the people from the camp of Sennacherib. All right. Any questions up to there? If you're new to the channel, subscribe and comment. This is our third hour of streaming. Welcome, my brothers. Did you subscribe? I want you to subscribe to this channel, okay? We have been here for a long time. Guys, help this channel to grow. You can only help this channel to grow by actively subscribing. Don't you think we're really working our ass out here? You know, I want you guys to subscribe and tell me where you're watching me. I'll be here for this hour, and I love reading. I want you guys to enjoy reading. I want you to enjoy reading, because I know in that process of reading, God is going to show himself. Because the Bible says, I think it is 2 Peter. Is it 1 Peter or 2 Peter? 1 Peter 5:10. I think it's 1 Peter 1:10. It's after you have suffered for a while. I think it's 1 Peter 5:10. It says, after you have suffered for a while. I love that scripture. After you have suffered. I want us to have after you have suffered for a while. And this suffering, after you have suffered for a while, that's after a period of suffering. All right. And this is the suffering I want you to put in your mind. The God of all grace, who called you to the eternal glory of Christ. I want you to cram that, will personally, or in other scripture says, God Himself will, number one, restore. He will come to restore you. There will be restoration. He will come to restore. He will come to confirm. So this is the guy. This is my guy. He will come to confirm. He will come to strengthen you. There will be a period of being strengthened, and He will come to establish you. Those are 4 things that when God comes, He will do 4 things for you. Number 1, the first thing He will do, He will restore. He will restore. You see, there's 2 types. I think I've been talking about that 2 types of justice. When somebody hurts you, or maybe you're going through a period of suffering, there are 2 types of justice. There's retributive justice and there's restorative justice. So always go for the restoration. Don't go for retribution. Always go for restoration. All right? This is retributive justice. This is restorative justice. Always go for the restoration. Number 1, the first thing God will do to you, He will restore. There is restorative justice. He will restore you, number 1. Number 2, He will confirm. He will confirm. He will confirm some certain things. He will confirm. He will confirm you. Number 3, He will strengthen you. Some of these things you need to do, they need strength. He will strengthen you. And number 4, He will establish you. You will take root below and bear fruit above. Any questions up there? We have been here for this is now our 3rd hour, and I want us every day to build the muscle. It's a question of building muscle. Don't start saying, "Oh, I'm tired." No. I want you to stay and build the muscle. All right. I want you to stay and build. You want to build the muscle. You want to build muscle. All right. Don't start saying, "Oh, I'm tired. I need to go. I am tired." No. Stay. Stay and build the muscle. All right. If they tell you to go 1 mile, go 2 or 3. Any questions up there? And if you're new to this channel, subscribe and comment. And I'm very happy to be here. Let us continue reading. All right. I want us to read this evening. Any questions? Any questions? Are you happy to be here? Are you happy to be here? Are you happy? I'm also happy to be here. Let us continue reading. And did you subscribe? Feel free to subscribe to our channel and tell me where you're watching me from. Let us continue. Now why go to Egypt to drink water from the Nile? And why go to Assyria to drink water from the Euphrates? Your wickedness will punish you, your backsliding will rebuke you. Consider then and realize how evil and bitter it is for you when you forsake the Lord your God and have no awe of me, declares the Lord Almighty. Long ago you broke off your yoke and tore off your bonds. You said, I will not serve you. Indeed, on every high hill and under every spreading tree, you lay down as a prostitute. All right? I planted you like choice wine of sound and reliable stock. How then did you turn against me into a corrupt wild vine? Although you wash yourself with soap. Any questions up to there? And use an abundance of cleansing powder, the stain of your guilt is still before me, declares the Lord Almighty. How can you say I'm not defiled? I have not run after the Baals. See how you behaved in the valley. Consider what you have done. You are a swift she-camel, running here and there, a wild donkey accustomed to the desert. sniffing the wind in her craving. In her heat, who can restrain her? Any males that pursue her need not tire themselves. At mating time, they will find her. Any questions up there, feel free to subscribe and comment. Do not run until your feet are bare and your throat is dry. And you said it's no use. I love foreign gods and I must go after them. As a thief is disgraced when he is caught, so the people of Israel are disgraced. Welcome to the world of our own. We've changed the name of the channel from Sultans of Swing to World of Our Own. And the reason why is because I realized that sometimes, some things you do, you're actually in a world of your own. you realize sometimes you get to a point where you realize these people will never understand me. Even in 10 years, they will never understand what I'm doing. They'll never understand when I'm talking about money. They don't understand. When I'm talking about this, they don't understand. It's like, I think sometimes I feel sorry. I feel sorry for myself and sorry for them, because sometimes development can bring up, can really tear you, can tear you from each other. And it's sad because it seems that even when you have, the problem is you can have a big plan and you're trying to explain to somebody, they seem not to understand what you're saying. Somebody, you're telling them that I want to do this, but you realize that you're on your own. You realize that you are in a level, you are not on the same level, so you are in a world. That is the problem. Yeah. So it's not because I'm a bad person or maybe they're bad. No. I came to realize that it's not because I'm a bad person. They're not bad. No. It's because I'm in a world of my own and they're in the world of their own. I came to realize where the problem is. It's not, I'm not a bad person. No. I came to realize where the truth is. It's not because I'm a bad person. And they're not also bad. They're also good. But where is the difference? I'm in a world of my own. And in the world of their own. That is what is the problem. Because I remember, let me give you a story. And I also like giving people stories. When we were about to finish our degree, when I was just about to finish, I was in my 4th year. A friend of mine, and I'll name him because one is now a member of parliament of Manyata. A member of parliament of Manyata is called Tosh Mukundi Gitonga. It's called Gitonga. Yes, he's called Tosh. We used to call him Tosh at the University of Nairobi. Yes, he's called. We used to call him Tosh. He's the member of parliament of Manyata. All right. So we came there. It's called Mukundi Gitonga. But in university we called him Tosh. Let me give you a story, a true story. What happened at the University of Nairobi? It was I and another gentleman called Francis Kaburu, the member of parliament of Manyata called Gitonga Mukunji, and another guy. So we came up with a company. And this guy called Francis Kaburu, I'll tell you the story, came to me at that time in the year 2011. This is a true story. True story. A true story. This is not I did not write Ranisha. No. It was Francis Kaburu came and told me, Raymond, we have this company we are forming. I'll never forget that day. Came and told me, we used to sit somewhere. So Raymond, because he told me, that time, also, I was finishing my first degree, and also the member of parliament of, now the member of parliament of Manyata called Gitonga Mukunji was also finishing his first degree, was pursuing statistics. So, So this guy came and told me, Raymond, let us form this company and we'll call it Greenville. Ha! Then let me tell you a story. Then I remember he took me myself. I'm telling you a true story. We went to Kileleshwa. Because at that time we were talking in Riverside. We were in Riverside, Nairobi. So we were talking. He told me, Raymond, I have this company. We'll be making 48 million every year. I said, yeah. So we're in campus now. Let me tell you the story. We're in campus now. It was Francis Gaburu and Gitonga Mugunji. Said, Raymond, I'm going to Kabarak because he was a student at Moya School Kabarak. So he came and told me, Raymond, we are forming this company called Greenville International. We'll be making this and this and this and this. So there was a lady from our class. She was called Mumbi. So also that lady Mumbi was also to be incorporated in the company. So I said, that's good. But I told him, and I remember what I told him, Francis, you're my friend. You guys, so we went to that place called Greenville International. He had already taken a 5-bedroom house. He had already renovated it. The plan was there, and they were to make they were to bring the machines to make biodegradable paper and bags. They were supposed to import the machines. I think it was from China, to make the bags and everything. So yeah, it started. It started. So I told him, I told him, right now, I wanted us to have a coffee house. So he said, no, yeah, coffee house. He said, yeah, I want us to have a coffee house because, yeah, coffee house is much better. Oh my good Lord, my good Lord. And that's how things start, that's how ideas start. That's how ideas start. And 10 years down the line, guys are still, we have a member of parliament. But when I tell you how people start, you'll be very, very surprised. You'll be very, very surprised. So, without faith, ladies and gentlemen, it is impossible. Everything, the most important thing is having that plan. Any questions up there? Feel free to subscribe and comment. I'm very happy to be here. We'll be streaming for the next 1 hour. Any questions? Any questions up there? You can ask me your questions as we continue. And if you're new to this channel, feel free to be part and parcel of our stream. So that's what I'm saying, that whenever you're called upon, you say, we have this nice idea. We have this nice idea. It always starts like that. So when you look at people in the present, you're going to miss the point. You're going to miss something. If you look at people with carnality, or when you look at people in their present condition, your eyes have the capacity to lie to you. Yes, I'll tell you for free today. When you look at people now, you're going to miss it. And I'll tell you for free. When you look at people today, say, these guys, no, you're going to miss it. So you have to look at people with a revelation. You have to look at people with a revelation. Because somebody can say, I have an idea that will bring us 200 million a year. But you see, when you're looking at him today, you're saying, this guy, no, this guy cannot make it. When you're looking at people, in fact, I always tell, when you look at people, always look at them with a revelation, not with carnality. Because I can tell you for free, that Greenville company that was formed with the offices in Kileleshwa, it is where the current Member of Parliament, Manyata Member of Parliament, Gitonga, Tosh, Mukunji, used to work. And when that company was being formed, the person who brought those papers of the registration of that company were brought to me in class. We were 4th years. When that company was being registered by the Register of Companies, those papers, I read the owners of shares while I was waiting for exams, while I was in 4th year. While I was in 4th year. When they bring that guy, we was backbenchers. I remember, that class, we were backbenchers. So when he came, he brought that envelope to me and told me, Raymond, as I told you, we are forming a company. And you see, we were, it was a very interesting period because we were just doing our project to finish our degree. Are we together? So this guy brings registration of a company to me, and everybody at that particular time, everybody wanted to finish the degree and go to the market to look for a job. So this guy comes, and Gitonga Mukunji, who's the current member of Parliament of Manyata. So this guy called Kaburu comes and tells me, okay, after we finish our degree, we'll be having our offices in Kileleshwa. We went there. I was like, hey. I'm like, where? So he said, this would be my mom. It was very interesting. That's why I'm telling you guys, never look at people with carnal eyes. You have to look at people with a revelation. He took me personally. He took me there. I said, this would be my office. This would be the master bedroom. This would be where, in fact, his office, he had showers in his office. Like he could take a shower. All the suits were in his office. It was very interesting. He could change in his office. There were all those Niveas there and perfumes. If he wants to go to a meeting, he would just go, shower, change while in his office. Then I went. I saw all those things. He told me this is the office of so and so. This is the office of so and so. While it was still new. While they had not started business. While it was still new. So I came to learn something. I said, hey. So he asked me, so what do you want? Do you want to join Greenville? Do you want to join Greenville International? Or do you want to go to the market? All that time in 2010, everybody wanted to go to insurance. So I say, do you want to go to India? Everybody wanted to go. I remember one of my classmates also wanted to go to India. Do you want to go to Raymond Mutuku? Because that was the pattern back then. I told him, the way I'm looking at it, I was thinking about, I wanted us to have a coffee house. So that was the idea that I had. Why? He asked me, you want to sell coffee to people? I said, I just felt like I wanted us to have a coffee house. Like we say, we can make really good cash. So he said, okay, you need close to 3.5 million for coffee house. I said, that expensive. So that was the kind of conversation we were having back. I'm talking about in 2026, right? This conversation was in 2011, 15 years ago. I was talking to him. So he told me, okay, Raymond, that's good. So I said, okay, you need a capital of 3.5 million. I said, 3.5 million, yeah. So that we can have a coffee house. Yeah. You can imagine this, my God. Sometimes when I think about such stories, I just laugh because that's why you see, you see me doing stuff because we were like 20 years. This guy had already taken, he was like, okay, he was not old, he was 23. He had already taken offices in Kileleshwa. So I asked him, okay, so what will be your rent of this office? He said, don't worry, that's just 60,000. And he just brushed it off. He said, don't worry, it's just 60,000. I was like, what? 60,000? So I was, everything to me, at that particular time, everything to me was a surprise. But to him, I was like, what is this? What is it with this guy such that all these things that I'm afraid of, to him is just, you know, it's okay. We'll sort it out. Then I realized that because we were even in the same class, so that's why when I came out of that office, when I went now from Kileleshwa, because so at that time we were staying at Riverside. We were staying at Riverside. So I said, okay, let me go back to Riverside because it's not a far from Kileleshwa. It's just like in 5 minutes already, in 10 minutes already in Riverside. We used to stay in Riverside. So I said, let me go back to Riverside and relax. So when I went there, I was thinking, I'm like, what? What? These guys are really, what is it with these guys that we're the same age? Because they're not older than me, they were same age. And we're in the same class. It's not because they're smarter than me, no. So what is this with these guys? What is it with these guys? Then I realized that when you see somebody doing something that is beyond you, there's only one explanation. It's because of a revelation that they have that you don't have. Then I came to realize that is the time I realized, oh my goodness, it's a question of revelation. It's not a question of age. It's not a question of tribe. No. I came to realize it's a question of revelation. 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 All right? Maybe there's something that was revealed to him that I don't have that revelation. Any questions up there? Feel free to be part and parcel of our streams, and I'm very happy to be here. You can always subscribe to our streams every day. I know sometimes I have a lot of stories. As a thief is disgraced when he's caught, so the people of Israel are disgraced. They, their kings and their officials, their priests and their prophets, they say to wood, you are my father, to the stone, you gave me birth. They have turned their backs to me and not their faces. Yet when they are in trouble, they say, come and save us. When then are the gods you made for yourselves? Let them come if they can save you when you're in trouble. Any questions up there? Feel free to subscribe and comment. I'm very happy to be here. Then, I have a lot of stories. Then, I remember also in the same group that we were doing, the same group, the same, same group that we were actually moving around with, sharing stories, A guy came up with a company, while others, that is the problem. You see, I came to realize it's all about revelation. Because, when others were, because I remember that time we had just finished our first degree, and there was a lot of pressure, when you hear stories go around. This one has already is in the insurance. This one is in banking. This one has gone this one. This one has gone like this. So I met this friend of mine again. He said, uh, had he started. He said, what? He wanted to have. He was in the car business. The car business. So he bought so many cars and got into cabs, and the business grew. The business grew. From 2011. I'm talking about 2011 when I finished my first degree, 2011. And now we're 2026. Those cars have grown from just two. Right now, I don't know, I think he has more than 300 cars. More. He has so many cars. Plying the, airport, Nairobi, going, so many cars. He merged, his company with other companies. Instead of, competing, they would source for business as a team, and their profits skyrocketed. They increased so much, and he did so much. So when I think about the way we finished, and how when I remember, there was this, this guy was like, he said, I'll just start with the little that I have. And he started off, and the business picked. Right now, you hear, the other day he was in Manila. Just the other day, they were in Manila. I called him. I said, where are you? I called him using WhatsApp. Where are you? He said, I'm in Manila. I don't know where they went to do a few stuff. He's more interested in Singapore. Applying this Singapore, Manila. When I call him, where are you? I'm in Singapore, maybe Malaysia, Manila, Singapore, Malaysia, mostly that side. So I asked him, why are you so interested in Singapore and Malaysia and Manila? Why are you so interested? He said, that is where the future is. And he said, that route is very profitable. I said, then again, the funny thing is, when you receive an idea, you are like, this idea is just fake. But you see, in 10 years down the line, that's when you start saying, maybe I just dismissed him. So that's the same thing that happens. Somebody can come and tell you, like that one I said, somebody can come and tell you, have this grand idea. And you're like, but what do you have in mind? So they tell you the idea, like, that will never work. But 10 years down the line, you realize that they've taken that entire route. It's extremely profitable. And you start saying, how did I miss that? That is exactly the same thing. How people miss. How people miss. How people miss. You miss an opportunity because maybe you thought it wouldn't work. But you see it working. I called him last week. He was in Manila. So I'm like, he told me, okay, why don't you just tag along? I said, you know what? I don't think you're going to make it. But you see, that's the funniest thing about life, is that also, God also comes to rescue his people. I came to realize. But when he told me that he wants to go those sides, Malaysia, Singapore, Manila, I said, everybody wants to go to New York or London. He said, no, let them go to London. I'll go to these sides. Let them go there. Let them go to London. I'll go to Manila, to Singapore, and to Malaysia. This Eastern, South Asia. And within a very short period of time, within a very, very short period of time, I mean 2 years, not a lot, very short period of time, started making money. That is how I think. Let us continue reading. That's the problem of I have so many stories. The reason why I have many stories is it will tell you it's the kind of people who I'm surrounded with. When you're surrounded with people who give you competition, you'll always have so many stories. Oh my God! Any questions up to there? Any questions up to there? Feel free to ask me your questions, and you can tell me your stories. So, and one of the things, why I was exposed to such people is because I am also a man of stories. So when I made a lot of friends in campus, and we had so many groups because I was also in the Rotary. I was in campus. I joined the Rotary. I was also in other so many clubs in campus, and there were so many ideas that were bubbling under. Also, I also interacted with guys from the engineering sector. So many guys. I knew so many guys when I was in campus. So and we are still in communication. We're not in communicado. And a lot of stories. I can tell you a lot of stories how people started in a very humble way, and they just blew up. They just blew up. Mm. Any questions up to there? So when you tell me you have an idea, nowadays I'm very keen. Like somebody says, I have an idea. I'm like, yes, yes, because I know you can have an idea, and that idea takes you places that people would never believe. Would never believe. Yes. Can even surprise you? The guy that I was who used to sit next to me in campus, who used to sit next to me, like I'm seated here, they're seated here, or they're seated here. I'll not name him. He's now an accountant in Hong Kong. And so many stories. That's why I'm telling you, when somebody gives me an idea, I usually listen very keenly. Because I know you never know. Any questions up to there? I've been here blabbering. You can ask me your questions before I go. Yes, I've been here for 3 hours now. Did you enjoy my stories? I hope you did enjoy my stories, because in all that, what I was talking about, there's something you can get. Yeah, so go through my stories again. There's something you can get. You see, I saw Babu Wino. I can tell you the story of the Embakasi MP. I can tell you his story. I saw him when he was a third year at the University of Nairobi. In 2010, he came. We were in his class in a Greek club. He came, he told us, oh, cantankerous. I will discombobulate this administration. We will discombobulate cantankerously. I don't know. And he was a very thin guy, very brown skin. So we were fourth years. He was a third year. And we were like, hey, this guy, did you hear? So when we came out of the class, what is this guy? He was just cantankerous. We will be very, I remember that word, cantankerous. Then we were like, hey, this guy, what's wrong with him? Then he became Sonu chair. You see, that's why I'm saying, I'll not even go to his story. His story. That's why I'm saying, when somebody comes to tell you we're going to do the ABCD, all these ideas, all what you need is a revelation. Any questions? Never say it. This idea will never pick. Always spare some space. Like maybe this idea will pick. Because when somebody says, because I remember, and I'll tell you for free. Here. I remember I called during the campaigns. I even called Gitonga Mukunji. I called him. I said, how are you? So I've heard you're vying. I said, I know you're going to make it. And true to the word, he made it. So when somebody says, I want to join politics, before you dismiss them, you never know. Any questions up there? Any questions? Any questions? Any question? You can ask me your questions while I'm here. You can ask me your questions while I'm here. Did you subscribe? It's now around 5:53. Yeah. I can tell you stories of people who in school might look, maybe they were dismissed as failures. I can tell you a story of another young man. He built stores of cereals. When he's now the biggest supplier of rice, maize, cooking oil, food, foodstuffs. And when he started, people thought, this guy will never make it. But time will answer all those questions that you're asking. I can tell you, the most funniest story of all, of how sometimes you can just go and talk to people and then you're like, another friend of mine. I'll tell you the story. He used to work in a bakery here in Machakos town. And he asked me, what do you think? Should I, how can I know a lot about this bakery. I said, you know what? I just told him blankly, do you want to expand? He said, yes. So you do this. Take the bread from the bakery and take it to town. Just a very simple idea. Bread. I said, where should I take the bread? I said, oh, don't worry. You just come with the crates with bread. So you're working in a bakery? He said, yes. So bring the bread from the bakery. Okay, go and buy the bread from your bakery. Go and buy that bread. So he just took my advice. So he went. He told me, okay, I have some savings. I've been working in this bakery. So I said, you do this. You already know you're doing a good job, yes. So use your money and buy bread from your bakery. Then bring that bakery to town. That is exactly what he did. He quit the job, but he still remained there. He told the employer, he went to his employer and told the employer, okay, why don't I, instead of waiting for you to promote me, instead of waiting for your promotion, why don't I be the one to buy your bread? So he said, okay, let me be your number one distributor of your bread. The manager was like, but why do you want to go? You are such a good accountant. Why do you want to go? He said, don't worry. Yes, and he was earning a very good salary. He said, don't worry. I will just be, okay, I want to buy your bread now. Because now I've been working here in this company. I've saved some money. So why don't I buy your bread? So the general manager said, okay, fine. Because I'll be coming here every day to buy the bread. I'll be the one now. Instead of waiting for you to promote me, let me be the one to distribute the bread of this bakery. And they agreed because he was a faithful worker in that company. Then, guess what? He said, let me just buy the entire, whatever you bake every day, let me buy all of it at a good discount. This manager was very surprised. So you're going to, how many crates are those? He said, I'm going to buy all the crates. Hey, how many crates? So for every crate, he would get a discount of 5 shillings every crate. So he said, okay, instead of other people coming to take the bread, why don't I buy the entire piece of the entire stock, and then I'll be the one to do the distributing. That is exactly what he did. So he went and looked for a place in town, a place where a store. Then he would just buy the entire stock of bread, take it to his store, and then he would sell the bread from around 6 to 7. Believe you me, believe you me, just an accountant. He would make sales until he bought motorbikes to distribute the bread now to the other parts of other areas. Now he started looking at the region as a so he took the entire stock of bread, took it to his place. Then he started thinking about now transporting the bread to Kangundo, to Tala, to Mavoko, to Kitui, and to Kadonzweni, Wote, up to Kitise, and also to Kitui. So that plus, it's a plus. When you're in Machakos, this is a plus. It's a plus. In Machakos, it's a plus. Okay. So on the one road goes to Wote, Kadonzweni. All right. One road goes to Mavoko. The other road goes to Kangundo, and the other road goes to where? To Kitui. He took the 4 routes. So every day he would buy the bread. There are some cars that are taking the bread to Mavoko. There are cars that are going to Makueni. There are cars going to Kitui. There are cars going to Kangundo. And he would manage the entire stock every single day. And that is how he became a very rich man. A very, very rich man. And you see, a very simple idea, Just something. It's just a question of tilting the idea. Tilting the idea. Just tilting it. Something very small can change your life. Just tilting the idea. Kidogo tu. Kitu kidogo inabadilisha kila kitu. Something very small. Or can you tell me how to look at it? Somebody just tilts the idea that just like this. Your life changes. Any questions? You can ask me your questions before we go. And I will appreciate your questions. They're around 6 Kenyan time. Did you enjoy my streams? Of course, the beauty of my streams is that you'll always gain something new. You know why? Do you know why? Because I'm a man who moves a lot. I talk to so many people. I enjoy exchange. Every day I must meet somebody new to tell me something. And when I get something new, I share it with my viewers. Because the beauty part of my life is that I'm a man who interacts with people every day. Wherever I go, I'm surrounded with people. When I go here, I have friends. I go here in church, where I interact with so many Kenyans. So, politics, I love politics. People who know me, they know, this guy, pahali yuko, anapiga siasa. Any questions? Any questions up there? Feel free. You can ask me your questions, and I'm here. You can ask me your questions while I'm here. I'll be here for the next 10 minutes or so before I leave. Any question? So one of the things that I came to realize is the first thing that happens in a life of a man is that God wants you to change the way you see and perceive things. Because I think what happens is when there's a divine visitation that's about to come, something that's about to happen in your life, that's about to change your life. Because I remember why one of the my other account, I call it the chariots of fire. I can even tell you the story. It was the youth conference of last year. We had a visitation. There was a man of God who came, and this man came from Zambia, Lusaka, from Lusaka, Zambia. And this man was called Emmanuel Mambwe. And I remember very well. And he taught us that on that morning, I woke up very early, I went to church, and he was teaching us about, the story of Elisha and Elijah. When Elijah was just about to be taken, there's something that somebody, you see, what you want is with somebody. That's one of the things he taught us. What you want is with somebody. What you want is not beyond, it is with somebody. That is exactly what we were taught. What you want is with somebody. It is not beyond your reach, it is with somebody. And we were taught this man called Emmanuel Mambwe. He taught us and told us, when Elijah was, he told Elisha, stay here. I'm going to, the first place was Gilgal. Stay here. Okay? Stay here. And let's read, because I love that part. Until I called one of my channels the Chariots of Fire. And Elisha had already served. Elisha had served that man. But this man said, okay, look, stay here. When the Lord was about to take Elijah up to heaven in a whirlwind, Elisha and Elijah were on their way from Gilgal. Then Elijah told Elisha, stay here. The Lord has sent me to Bethel. But this guy said, you know what? He still held on him. He said, but Elisha said, as surely as the Lord lives, and as you live, I will not leave. You see, because he knew this is the time where transactions are to take place, because it was a transaction. He said, the company of the prophets at Bethel came out to Elisha and said, do you know that the Lord is going to take your master from you today? Yes, I know. Elijah replied, so be quiet. Then Elijah told him, stay here, Elisha. The Lord has sent me to Jericho. He has sent me. Stay here. Hey! This man said, no. I'm going to miss out. And that's how people miss out. That's how you will miss out. Because you are not keen. Let's continue. And he replied, as surely as the Lord lives and as you live, I'll not leave you. So they went to Jericho. And the companies of prophets at Jericho, imagine, at Bethel, they knew that Elijah was to be taken that day. You can imagine. The prophets at that place at Bethel, they knew. Not one, not two or three. They knew. All the prophets at Bethel, they knew that Elijah is to be taken. Then they went to Jericho. And the company of prophets at Jericho went up to Elisha and said, the same thing. Do you know that the Lord is going to take your master from you today? Do you know? He said, yes, I know. but so be quiet. Then Elijah said to him, stay here. The Lord has sent me to Jordan. ah, as surely as the Lord lives and as you live, I'll not leave you. So the two of them walked on. 50 men from the company of prophets went and stood at a distance. They went and stood there, facing the place where Elijah and Elisha had stopped at the Jordan. Then Elijah took his cloak, rolled it up, and struck the water with it, and the water divided to the right and to the left, and the two of them crossed over on dry land. Another one on the other side. When they had crossed, Elijah said to Elisha, tell me, what can I do? What can I do for you before I am taken from you? And that is where this man of God taught us. He said, once you've crossed the Jordan, then that is when somebody will ask you, what can I do for you before I am taken from you? Let me inherit a double portion of your spirit, Elisha. Elisha replied, you have asked a difficult thing, Elijah said. Yet if you see me when I'm taken from you, it will be yours. Otherwise, it will not. Otherwise, it will not. And as they were walking and talking together, suddenly a chariot of fire and horses of fire appeared and separated the two of them. And Elijah went up in heaven in a whirlwind. And Elisha saw and cried out, my father, the chariots and horsemen of Israel. And Elisha saw him no more. Then he took hold of his garment and tore it into two. Elisha then picked up Elijah's cloak. The cloak. He picked it up. Any questions up to there? Then he asked a very interesting question that had fallen from him and went back and stood at the bank of the Jordan. He took the cloak that had fallen from Elijah and struck the water with it. Then he asked a very good question. Where now is the Lord of Elijah? He asked. When he struck the water, it divided to the right and to the left, and he crossed over. Oh, hallelujah. That's a very wonderful time. I really appreciated your time. And today we really stayed for 3 hours. Do you want us to stay? He took the clock. He took his things. Possession. Possession is the 9/10, or is the 10/10? Any questions up there? And if you're new to this channel, I'm very happy to be here. I'm just about to leave. And if you have any questions, you can ask me. I really appreciated your time. Any questions up there before I leave? Any questions before I leave? I really appreciated your time. You can ask me your questions and I'm here. I'll give you a few more minutes as we continue. Any questions? Any questions? Arrivederci, arrivederci.